and let me know if you can actually hear me. Should be mic'd up, but we are going to see here. Let me get into the stream here on my computer. Let's see. Will it go? Hey, I'm waving. Is that going? Will it go? Hey, I'm waving. Oh my gosh, the audio isn't even that bad. What's up, guys? Oh my gosh, the audio isn't even that bad. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. What's up, guys? Oh my gosh, the audio isn't even that bad. Check Wait. 1 2. Check 1 2. Okay. There we go. What's up? Hey, Zach. How's it going? Maker? Slant 3D ant fellow? There we go. Hello, everybody. We're going to try this right here. How's it going? We get to do it inside the print farm today. And normally we don't get to do that because normally we can't show off the stuff inside of the print farm or the parts that are printing. But since it's the first week of the year, we're coming off the big old Christmas high. This row has basically been shut down for servicing and cleanup and that kind of stuff. So I get to film here, which is cool because now people get to see inside one of the rows of the print farm. So we got rows over there and rows over there. Yeah, so it should be kind of fun. Should be a fun stream. Show us the printers. The printers right there, right here, right here. There they are. These are the Slant box version 14, which are an older generation. We're on V18 right now. And then these are a third-party machine that we started getting a hold of in order to accelerate because we needed to build machines faster. So we created a modded version of these machines. But hey, what's up, Mike Simpson? What do you guys want to talk about? Let's see here. A recent. Hold on. I'm going to put a link down in the comments. Organizer maker. Wait. Hold on. Wait. Organizer maker.com. Never mind. I can't find it. All right, fine. I'm gonna give. Oh no. Wait. No, I got it. Organizer maker. .slanttools.com. Please work. Hey, yeah, sick. Okay. Let me drop this down here for y'all to play with during the stream. We just released this little tool, the Slant Tools subdomain. We're putting out a whole bunch of tools for people, and this is one of them. So this is a quick little like box builder app to where you can just drag and drop and move stuff up. What's up, Lataro? The organizer maker is one of many tools. So we have STL Bash, the shipping label maker, the 3D print price calculator. All of those are over there. You can find them on the Slant Pod website in the tools section. There's a whole bunch of them there, and we're releasing more of them as we're able to. And then, yes, most of them will be showing up here at the Slant Tools subdomain. So if you want to go try and mess with that, let me know if there's anything broken on it, because we just released it like a day or two ago. So there's probably a few bugs, but is what it is. Okay, let's see here. Okay, interesting. How do I want to go about this? So everybody wants to talk about the printers. So what is the repeatability of those 3D printers? The repeatability of those printers. So repeatability inside of 3D printers is mainly dependent upon like environmental situations. That's the core part of repeatability. So do the belts stay tight? Does the nozzle not wear down? Is the temperature or ambient temperature the same? Is the material consistent? Repeatability is a multi-factor thing. And the way you get any machine to be repeatable is to just have a very controlled environment. We have a very controlled environment here. This entire building is kept at a steady state temperature. All of these machines are kept in their situation. They don't get bumped, they don't get moved, all those kind of things. They are all built exactly the same, so we don't have variations of machines. We have effectively 2 machines inside of the print farm, which are these third-party ones to be a backup for us, and then our machines, which are all the same or backwards compatible. So you get repeatability by just being exceptionally consistent about the stuff you do. The material itself, very controlled, very qualified. We don't do a lot of stuff. a lot of you guys who have used teleport and that kind of stuff have noticed that we don't have like a lot of, we don't radically introduce new materials just on the beat. That's because it takes a bunch of time to qualify and make robust new materials, new print settings, all that kind of stuff, so that whenever somebody uses it and they get a prototype, they know that all the production parts will be the same as that prototype. Let's see here. What's up, Moodler? Simone? And I apologize, I cannot read Slavic. What do you do for maintenance on printers? So our main control software is called Kraken. Kraken monitors all the machines, and then it monitors failure rates on machines and time printing on machines, because this printer over here might not print as often as this printer over here. So the amount of maintenance needed is dependent on number of print hours. So Kraken is monitoring all of that. When a machine hits a certain number of print hours, that triggers either that machine being put on a pause until a maintenance cycle, or we'll just notify the users. So there's basically a maintenance queue inside of Kraken of like, these machines need greased, need bed change, need whatever. This machine has been skipping a lot, change the nozzle, that kind of stuff. So if a machine, once those pile up, it will create a maintenance agenda that is then sent to the maintenance tech, who will go through and run maintenance on those machines. Like, oh, here's the 10 machines that need grease today. We'll get that done. And then here's the 10 machines that need servicing, and here's a machine that just needs pulled and swapped. That kind of stuff. Frickin' Phoenix here. What's up, Rick? Do you like Bambu Lab printer? Guys, I don't give advice about the machines that you buy. If you're a personal user, Bambu's probably fine. So is Prusa, so is Creality. All of them are basically identical at the personal level. At the print farm level, we are very, very persnickety about our machines, but also one print farm is not the same as another. And what we do here, quite frankly, is different from most print farms, because we have hundreds and hundreds of machines. So our requirements are really different from somebody who has like 10 machines or 100 machines. With the print farm, the big thing that you're always fighting with is scalability. So the mega farm here is spec'd out for 3,000 machines. We need to build about 500 more of those. The requirement for a print farm machine are totally different from the requirement for a consumer machine. Like these machines over here, you know what I really hate about this? Is they have this touchscreen display on the front. That's absolutely ridiculous. In a production environment, you never want a touchscreen because that burns out first thing, or it gets broken by somebody tapping it too hard. Plus, since we have full control of these through our app, you don't need a display, because if you need to see the status of that machine, look at the machine. Do you use any computer vision system to automatically set on-the-fly printing parameters? No. We don't do on-the-fly printing parameters. Because number one, that would change one part from another. But so every machine part that goes into the system is pre-sliced for its particular set of parameters. Live adjustment on parts is useful, but not quite useful yet. There's a scale problem with that one, to where the failures from something failing because of something on the fly G-code could have fixed, those failures are not as significant as the cost of putting in that sort of a vision system. Okay, I'd really know how much, how do you have a probe or even an eddy beacon? Oh, do you have a probe? Okay, so how do you level your printers? So, our printers, the reason print leveling exists is because consumer or cheaper off-the-shelf machines are not built level. CNC machines, you don't level. $100,000 CNC machine, you do not level, because it's just built square and tight and correct. Auto leveling is a way of taking out imperfections in the machine. If your machine is not built with those imperfections, then it doesn't matter. This again comes to, like, our machines don't have to go through a shipping box, so they don't get knocked out of alignment coming from the factory. Our machines are effectively just built well, So once they are calibrated, they're done. And that's all you got to do. Auto leveling has always been not a gimmicky feature, but a user-friendly feature that isn't necessary if the machine is just built right and then maintained and taken care of. Very often, I would say that auto leveling is the cause of as many errors as a bed being out of level. So that's not to say that it's not useful. Like it is a good safeguard, but it's a redundant one. It's kind of treating the symptoms rather than the disease. Why is the bed out of level? Oh, because the machine was built out of whack. So now the nozzle needs to compensate for that out of whackness. That's kind of the thought on that. When you design the next version, do you make it backwards compatible, similar to Prusa, save time and resources? To a degree. So for the first 12 versions of Slant Box, or no, from version 4 to version 12, all of them were totally backwards compatible. Version 1 through 4 were really high variance and whole different machines each time. But version 4 through version 12, totally backwards compatible. Version 14 was the first one that was not backwards compatible because we needed to completely re-architect it for robotic automation in order to allow filament loading on this generation of machines from a robot arm. So the version 14 forward will be somewhat backwards compatible, but even version 18 that we're working on right now, it still is, but we're effectively going clean sheet, which means that certain parts and pieces may move like by a millimeter, so it probably won't be backwards compatible. It is important to do that though. Like, I recommend it if you're, well, nobody else builds printers for their print farm, but yes, backwards compatibility is very important. Though at the same time, recognizing what the useful life of the stuff is. Guys, a lot of people focus on sort of the wrong things when working in a print farm or working in production. 3D print, hang on, printpricecalculator.com. I'm sending out this link for 3dprintpricecalculator.com. This has depreciation, electricity, and material auto-calculated based on the number of parts you're making per month. Depreciation of the machine, basically how fast it wears out, electricity and material are really not that expensive on a per part basis. I mean, they're not nothing, and when you have thousands of machines, it's worth a lot. But for, again, smaller print farms like sub 100 machine print farms, printer depreciation, cost of material, electricity shouldn't even really be on your radar, because there's so much more expensive things like labor and rent. Those are more expensive things. The lights are going out on us, but hey, I'm gonna, what's this look like? I got the frame, I got that all right here. Yeah, these are, Maxim, these are all 3D printers. They go back there. This is a 15,000 square foot 3D print farm. And we have multiple rows like this. So can people see back into there? I'll turn sideways so you can see like the full distance. Does that work? Yeah, that works. So all the way back there to the white, there's machines that whole way. And then there's rows and rows and rows and rows. And yeah, there's quite a few machines. So Slant 3D is the biggest FDM print service on the planet. We have far more machines producing far more parts than any other service-based print farm. Now, there are other print farms of similar size to us. There's like Gantry, there's Wiglets, there's a few others in China, but all of them make kind of a specific set of products. We're the only ones that like you guys can go use. So anybody using teleporter portals or going through can get access to this print farm for free. So if you're like running an Etsy store and you need some overflow, you can get 200 more machines for free to produce your parts for you. That's why we built all of this. So that like a kid in a dorm, this is a server farm. This is a server farm for hosting your manufacturing. So if you're a kid in a dorm room designing something, you can now get access to an entire factory of any size that you want to. So you can focus on designing stuff and making cool stuff, but you don't have to build the factory. This is why this is so valuable. But could you not solve the displays burning out by dimming them until someone touches the display? Oh, it's not the displays burning out. It's literally people touching the display that ruins the display. It's user error. And also just the fact that, again, well, that's darker than I wanted. How dark is that for everybody else? It might not be that dark. Oh, no, that's dark. Hold on a second, guys. Ah. Okay. That's slightly better. That's kind of cool in the dark. But yeah, also in the context of the factory, each one of these machines displays adds cost to the cost of the machine. So if they weren't there, we would save that when deploying 1,000 machines. So it'd be nice to not have them there because they're just a redundant function that's not really necessary. So you just don't need the displays at all. They're just an excess material. And again, like that's a thing with like using generically designed 3D printers. We have a display on these too. I've wanted to get rid of them for years, but we've always needed like the knob. But these are twist knob displays because you need that twist knob because that's easier to fix and also does not wear out as quickly as those things. But this is just for like general machine information of temperature and the rest of it. You don't need a preview of the model. Again, I can scan one of these with my phone, see everything that that machine is doing. So you just don't need it. Okay, let's see here. What else is going on? Anybody need any help with their teleport store or portal store or anything like that? Or Etsy store? I'll help with any of it. Oh, shoot. Oh, I'm just gonna do this on the stream right now. I don't even care. Hold on. I'm gonna let you guys send in links to stuff here. Let me just get signed in. I'm gonna make this form right now because I've talked about it on stream a couple of times so that people can send links to me. Oh my gosh, I don't need the AI help. Slant 3D, stream, link submission. Send us stuff. Okay, I'll get back, guys. I'll be back in just a sec. Hold on, let me finish this up. Publish. Manage. Hold on. Ah. No. Responder. Anyone with the link? There we go. Done. Publish. Shorten. Copy. And we are almost there. There we go. If anybody wants me to take a look at a link or anything else of projects that you're working on or files or something else, go ahead and submit it to that form that I just submitted there. The best part is no part to decrease points of error. Yes, that is absolutely true. Eliminate as many parts and pieces as you possibly can. That has been a continuous effort. Like guys, here's a fantastic reference. These machines over here, our internal machines, I believe have 16 screws out in the entire machine. These parts, machines right here, have more than 16 screws along the top, screwing together the frame. That is the difference between consumer grade machines and then production machines. Ours are meant to run 5 years, 24/7 continuously. These are meant to be used for 18 months intermittently in a garage until you burn them out and buy a new one. That's effectively what the manufacturer did for this. Now, we don't want to replace our entire factory in 18 months. So these have been modified fairly heavily in a couple of different ways in order to increase their lifespan. We've also put in different processes and sort of things to make these just more durable. Money, the new meta. Do you want my Prusa MK3S for $275? It has 5 days of printing time and is in mint condition. No, I don't. Bedslinger machines are absolutely ridiculous for print farms. I'm sorry, I do not like Bedslingers for print farms. Here's the reason why, because I know there's tons of people watching with them. The Prusas in most print farms are fine, again, but Bedslingers are fundamentally flawed because you're moving the foundation of the thing you're making, which means if you make something large or heavy, you start to lose print quality because the bed wobbles itself. And then you're also waving the part through the air. So it's at differing rates. So you never have consistent or controlled cooling because the bed's waving back and forth, and then it'll go slow, and then it'll do this, and so on and so forth. And that changes your cooling profile of the part. You're basically passively cooling it. So for certain materials, it becomes impossible. Just there's all kinds of terrible issues with Bedslingers. Bedslingers were created because they were residual from the rep wrap area where they were the cheapest thing to make, but they were also easiest to ship because you can fold them down flat into a smaller box than like a cube. So yeah. When you order a prototype, do you get a tracking number? Yeah, if you are inside a teleport and you order from the prototyper, when the order item goes out, you'll get a tracking number. Right now, I think most orders in the moment are going out in about 3 business days. Over the Christmas season, we were at 99% of orders went out in under 2 business days. So we're trying to get here, we're coming out of Christmas, so the team gets to slow down a little bit because we're just balls to the walls during Christmas. But yeah, so yeah, you will get a tracking number. Prototyper is active inside a teleport. You can order whatever you want, and it'll be shipped straight to you, and you'll get a tracking number. You can also check inside of your orders inside a teleport, and the tracking number will be right there. What would you think of belt printers for a farm? Oh no, belt printers don't work. Belt printers are a dead end. Sorry, it's getting too dark in here for me, guys. Let me try this again. Let me sprint down here. Hold on. I'm coming back. I'll be back in a sec. Okay, we're lit. Okay. We are lit again. Belt printers are bad because belt printers have been flexible. And since you cannot, if the belt is rolling this direction, right? You have the 2 rollers on the end, belt going over the top. Here in the middle, it's not constrained. So the belt peels up on the edges. They had their moment, people tried them, they don't work. So I'm out of breath. I sprinted all around. But the belt printers just, they don't have enough control of the part again. And ejection is done through other ways and better ways. When Slant 3D was getting started, it was part of a separate company. In 2018, 2017, we were messing with auto ejection and automation. And we solved auto ejection back then. And it's a materials problem and a machine design problem. Again, like off-the-shelf machines are not designed for auto ejection. Everybody keeps on having them do auto ejection, which is fine. But like us, we use specially designed both heads and motors in order to enable auto ejection more reliably, as well as just custom and intelligent tool paths to make sure that it's done reliably. The belt ejection is just, again, more parts, more complexity, doesn't create higher reliability, and everything else. So it's just not that great. Ejection's a materials and software problem. Well, hardware problem too, just everything. If you're making a production machine, it's a totally different monster from a consumer machine. Do you use OTC controller boards in your printers? No, not currently. If you wanted to do fuzzy skin on a part, do you guys add the fuzzy skin, or do I need to export the STL from a slicer with the fuzzy skin, or add it from Fusion, or whatever other CAD you use? Add it from, submit the STL with it. That's the most reliable way, because otherwise your fuzzy skin settings will be different from our fuzzy skin settings and all the shenanigans. So yeah, we've been working to add more of those features. Base mode will be coming to teleport here super soon. But there's so much stuff. We've been doing a UI revamp of teleport, and like the hardest part of it is matching and setting settings. And it's so challenging because there's so much stuff that to keep it simple is just really difficult. It's just very difficult. So we're seeing what we got to do. Oh shoot! Hold on, guys. I gotta send an email. I just realized something. realized we probably need to do something vertical rather than horizontal. Yeah. There's a facelift coming to Teleport in the next it might be the next couple of weeks. We may have to push it a little bit because of stuff. But, yeah. Let's see here. Oh, fuzzy skin inside of the slicer isn't the problem. It's pretty easy to apply textures to in the STL. But the slicers apply that noise to it pretty handily. But it's about consistency. So when you're using Teleport, Teleport is our print-on-demand service. You can plug it into your Etsy store or your Shopify so that when you get an order, we print and ship an item for you. Teleport, you can set some of the settings. So like your color, your material, support on off, that kind of thing. But if we give you another setting like fuzzy skin, but you do it we use a different slicer that is not Bambu Studio. Our internal slicer is called Slant Brain, but Slant Brain is just a different slicer architecture than what Bambu is. So you'll see differences in parts potentially if we don't really well define what the fuzzy skin is. So it's better if a person designs the part with texture included, uploads it that way, because we don't care how big your file is, uploads it that way, and then prints it on your machine. That way, if you design the part and print it on your machine, it will come off the same if you print it on our machines. You won't know the difference. But if your slicer settings are different from our slicer settings, then you will notice a difference. So it's just good to never rely on slicer settings for making produced parts. Teleport is a fantastic way for companies to go around tariffs. I have no problem saying that at all. We have a lot of users who are like international, based in Europe or other countries, and they use Teleport to make and deliver orders inside the United States because you don't have to ship stuff across an ocean. So like someone in the UK will create an Etsy store and market it towards people in the USA so that when somebody in the USA orders it, we print it and ship it to them. And you don't have international shipping, you don't have tariffs, you don't have the delay, you don't have costs, and your customers are happier. It's all better. Not to mention the fact that you get a few hundred machines to support your Etsy store. So yeah, Teleport is an awesome tool for international sellers. I cannot overstate how amazing it is for international sellers. Faster shipping, cheaper shipping, better experience, no tariffs, no paperwork, no delays, no customs, none of it. It's fantastic. Thank you and Slant team for making portals. Crafts Market Online. Thank you. It's a great idea. Do you have advice for improving an Insta funnel? Right now I have a product doing well on views but not sales. Inside of your Instagram, you got your bio, you can put one link in there. Either have that link directly to your portal or have that link to a link tree with the portals at the top, because people aren't going to go digging for it very much. You as the poster, I also think get to put a link either in the first comment or in the description of a post that you make about it. Let me know how many views you have, and that'll let me give you like a ratio. Also, just have a call to action. Say, this is for sale at the link in my bio. Something like that. You need to say that, because otherwise the views won't translate, especially if you're showing off a 3D printed thing. So yeah. Goldilocks, do you manufacture your own material? Yes, we do. If you want to watch the stream from last week, I'm sitting on like a pallet of like 2,000 pounds of filament that we made. But like these spools are Polymaker because they're matte. Polymaker makes a good matte. But these spools, this black PLA is ours. So like this is Tangled PLA, and you can buy some of our filament at tangledfilament.com. Let's see here. Do you have to worry about filament getting moisture in the farm? Most people overhype filament moisture. We have less of a concern because we're not a coastal city. We're in Boise, Idaho, the ambient humidity is about 20%, which is what most people get their filament down to anyway. So we have a good environment. But in addition to that, we burn through filament so quickly that it doesn't really matter, because a spool will run out in a day or two. So it's not really going to absorb anything in that time unless it's nylon. So we have a dry environment, really good. We burn through filament fast. And for like PLA, it also doesn't matter because it doesn't actually absorb water. And if you're in a low humidity area like we are, it's not a big deal. Worldly 7. Which printer? Can you give me more details? There's absolutely printers in these rows that are broken, so I don't doubt it. Printer on the right. I'm looking at the view. I can't see which one looks broken from that. A couple of years back, I bought Wonk filament from you guys. And I just want to say your filament has been the easiest to use, best to print, looks amazing. Also, I am able to vapor smooth it. Grayish, how are you able to vapor smooth our filament? Our filament is PLA. What are you using to smooth the PLA? Because as far as I'm aware, what chemical are you using? ABS is like the only vapor smoothable one. I'm glad you like the Wonk stuff. Wonk filament is, for anybody who's here, is like leftover stuff that we like sold off. Oh, wait. It was Wonk? No, Glut. Wonk is leftover in transition stuff. Glut filament is like things from other manufacturers. So we might have had ABS there. The fast one? The first one? Acetone works on it. There are some kinds of additives that allow it to sort of smooth. Gotcha. Weird. I don't know if PLA would do anything. Cool. Let's see here. What else is going on? How much time do we have? Yeah, we only have the hour, so we got another half hour. We're good. We're doing good. We're doing good. Let's see. I don't know, guys. Give me questions. I always have to talk about the same stuff all the time. I don't know what else I need to cover again. I have a terrible prototype of a Nerf gun and a motor accelerator for the Nerfs without motor. And a motor accelerator. Okay. 3D Ant Fellow. Can you give more context? Because I'm not sure what you're saying there. Let's see here. What would be the best 3D printer for 250 bucks? I have no idea. Here, guys, I understand that I'm a 3D printing YouTuber and I'm around 3D printers a lot, but I have no idea what printers. I don't recommend printers. We're not a printer review channel. And I know that's like sort of disappointing, but like we just don't. We don't. I have no idea. I have no pulse on the consumer 3D printer market at all. I don't know why the H2D is different from the H2S or the P1X is different from the P1S or any of those kind of things. I don't rate or review those machines. The only thing I care about is, can a machine make 1,000 parts reliably and consistently? And does it do it effectively in a print farm context? That's all I do. That's all I know. I'm a very one-track sort of a human. So I don't have a recommendation for you. Could you provide videos or photos to show your work? Oh, actually, speaking of which, did anybody comment, send over responses to that form? No, there's been no responses. Fine. Send links here. Send links here for Gabe to review. Command V. There we go. Do you think it's worth buying the Bambu Labs refill with spools to make, or just make them yourself? Are you talking about us? Or you? I think the Bambu's refill spools and refill system works quite well from what I've seen of it. Here's the thing, guys. I really respect Bambu. Bambu is an exceptionally well executing product and marketing company. Just fantastically good. Kind of disgustingly good. Like, if you just want a masterclass in how to do product, look at Bambu. Every one of their products is very intentional, to where you can look at any given feature in it and say, why did they do that? Here's the reason. The spools. The spools are super well designed. Why are they 1 millimeter thinner than a standard filament spool 2 years ago? Well, they were going for a system, but also making it sort of sneaky. But the design, why did they put their logo on the side of the printer head right in view of the time-lapse camera? So that when everybody started sharing time lapses of their prints, you would see what machine was making it. Just inherent virality built into it. It's so good. So many lessons from that case study. Once I've tried to make a print farm, just 8, using Autoprint, but for some reason, I don't know, 3 of them just stopped printing and they even kept on even without energy. Scares. So, if you have printers plugged into like an Octoprint Raspberry Pi, the Raspberry Pi gives power to it, so the display may stay turned on, even though the machine is unplugged. So that's a thing. Will you discuss a little about how you designed your printers? What were the big issues you addressed in your own designs? Or do you already have a video on this? We don't have a video on this. I'm going to change my pose here, guys, because it's just more interesting. And I'm tired of sitting crouched over here like this. I'm going to do this. Now everybody coming into the stream can have a really interesting reaction. All right, so what were the issues that we had challenging our machines? So there were, this is interesting. The machines that we built, the big thing with building a print farm machine is really all about reliability. Will it continue to operate for years? Because consumer machines are designed to operate for 18 to 24 months. Hang on, let me put this off to the side. I'm going to readjust one thing. So printers are only designed to operate for 18 to 24 months, and then they burn out and you're supposed to buy a new one, because that's how those companies stay in business. For us, in building a print farm, you need printers that are really reliable, really consistent, and don't go to 0 when they go out. So for us, when we designed the Slant box machines, well, darn it, it's dark again. I'm gonna have to go make a loop. I don't care, I'm gonna stay right here. The printers, all of our printers, when one of them burns out, if the board goes bad or bearings wear out or something like that, these printers don't go to 0. They're not trashed afterwards. One of these machines is backwards compatible enough to where about 80% of its components can be reused in future versions of the machines. And that we do maintain. That way we never go to 0, we go back to the raw material cost, and that way the only thing we're really paying for over the lifetime of the machine is the labor to assemble it. But the materials effectively stay the same, and then of course you upgrade chips and that kind of stuff as time goes by. So that's kind of the design standard of it. Also, for a farm machine, you really care about auto ejection. You really care about just reliability and robustness to where there's not single points of failure. So you design around stuff that will stay that way for a period of time. Okay. What's everybody got? Don't drop your laptop, it will hurt, ask me how I know. What would be your best advice for guys starting a 3D printing business focused on custom designs rather than printer farm? So, I would not suggest starting up a printer farm around custom designs. Hold on guys, I'm gonna walk around while I do this one. Setting up a print farm with custom designs means that you have to deal with a client who wants you to design those custom designs. I have a lot of friends who work in product design, and many of them are like consultants and engineers for hire and that kind of thing. And those sorts of client businesses, marketing, content, advertising, they work on the same model. Those things are all kind of terrible business models because you end up with so much back and forth with the client that you almost always end up with the client in sort of a meh state because they're just like, well, it's pretty close, but we had to negotiate to something that I didn't really want. And if you offer something good enough, you generally don't do it very profitably unless you're like the very top tier of agencies. So I don't recommend doing custom designs because it's just too much effort. The value right now that everyone should be doing is 3D printed products because the business model and the technology give you so many capabilities that were never possible before to where you have such an edge over people. Look at Travis over at Shop Nation. He makes accessories for individual saws and woodworking tools that could not have been created because molding was just too expensive for them. And then he creates modular components that can be molded at scale to be cross-compatible. But the design products, design accessories, like that is where the money is right now, like by a mile. And if you want to focus on design, do something like teleport or portals, where you have a print farm like this, print stuff for you so you can focus on design. And that way your designs can evolve and improve, and you don't have to worry about stuff just trying to find the next deer to kill and eat. How do you go around curves? Total cat, what would I be looking for? Disturbed llama, you'll need to probably take a look at just some of the design tutorials of how to build curves and stuff. I assume you're talking about the sweep feature. That's you'll need to do the tutorials for that. I can't hand wave you through that one. Otherwise, I'd try my best. What's the most required material by your customers? PLA. I know that the highest selling materials in order by product count are black PLA, black PG, PETG, matte black PLA. Those are the top 3 selling colors by volume inside a teleport. Money the new meta with an orange printer. Not putting an orange printer in here. The orange printers don't work for the print farm the way we need it to work. They're not viable for a number of different reasons. Orange printers are pretty darn good machines, but they just don't work in the print farm context the way we're going after it. There is a version of the world where they could, but like it's different. So we're gonna stick with our own machines, and then yeah, some third-party buffer ones. An injection, how do you attain an injection molding level finish for the 3D printed parts? This is a good question. You should not have that as a goal. An injection molding surface finish is a side effect and requirement of injection molding. Molding cannot make other types of surfaces reliably and affordably. Molds like to be smooth because that means the part can pop out really easily. So that surface finish is not because people desire it, it's because it's required by the process. 3D printing does not have that requirement. Don't try to make prints smooth. Give them texture, give them noise, give them fuzzy skinned, a diamond pattern, hexagon pattern, whatever. Indulge in the layer lines, use them like the grain in wood, because wood is a premium material. Don't try to make 3D prints smooth. That's a bad goal, because it's never been necessary. Design something fully new and different with capabilities and features that molding has a hard time doing, because molding does not like to make textures. Do you use setting up a portals print farm in India is feasible, as the market is booming in India too? Valve's orange box. A print farm in India is fine. We haven't pursued India yet ourselves through portals. Well, if you're in India, I would say set up a portal store and sell in the United States, because Americans buy way more stuff than India. Just bluntly, like we spend a lot of money. So if you're in India, don't set up a print farm or a portal store to sell in India. Set up a portal store to sell in the US. I think that's a fantastic way, because again, you don't have tariffs or import fees. You can use our print farm to print and ship items directly to your customers. Man, I'm losing the lights again already. That's really frustrating. What can you do for top surface finish? Tune your extrusion. Mr. Wind, thanks, man. Glad that was useful to you. Barf64, wrong about the injection mold surface finish requirements. Molds can make textures. Mold, you can set variable textures on molds. It's just very, very expensive. And molds don't like to do it. And there's a lot of restrictions on it. So like if you were doing a diamond raster pattern or knurled pattern on an injection molded part, and the part is a cylinder, normally if the part was a smooth cylinder, you could do it in 2 halves of the mold and just pop it apart and the part would fall out because the cylinder effectively has a draft angle. But if you put a knurled pattern on it, you can no longer do it in 2 half molds. You'd have to do it in like quarters or maybe even more, because otherwise the knurling would create undercuts to where the mold wouldn't eject. So yes, you can mold anything. I can also build a supersonic plane out of wood, but that doesn't mean that's a good idea, and that doesn't mean that aluminum isn't way better. 3D printing loves textures. Molding does not like textures. So use the thing that loves it. It's also an advantage because like, if you're in a wrestling match and you're a skinny guy but quick, and you're up against a fat guy but slow, the fat guy is going to try to fall on you. So you be quick to get out of the way. And then you try to trip him. You use your advantages where they are. So printing's advantage is it does textures way more easily and way more affordably and way more comfortably and flexibly than molds. I could make a texture that is cylindrical holes, perfectly perpendicular to every part of the surface of the thing. Molding will not do that because that's just physically impossible for the mold to eject it, unless you want 2,000 pins in the mold shoving into the part, which is just impractical. Why don't you do large format FDM at Slant? The reason we don't do large format is because it doesn't scale. So on Teleport and Portals, our print-on-demand services, we guarantee that a part will leave in under 5 business days. And 99% of orders leave in under 2 business days, which is why we're going to update our shipping estimate times, because we're really good right now and it goes in under 3. But a large format print does not allow that reliability. If we make these machines twice as large, a print might now take 36 hours. And if there's a failure along that road, we just burned through 3 to 4 business days printing a reprint, which means it ships late automatically. And anything that takes 2 weeks to arrive, if we like extended lead times for large format, just wouldn't be useful. Plus, if a large format print does fail halfway through, it's really expensive compared to smaller size prints that can fail whenever, and it's not that expensive to have that loss. So large format is just too expensive, too slow, and unreliable, because when you make a printer part larger, there are more opportunities for failure by orders of magnitude, by exponential orders of magnitude, because the bigger the volume, the more retraction moves, the more tool moves, and if one of them goes wrong, the part is ruined. So large format just doesn't really work at the scale that we operate at. It might change someday in the future, but not right now. People are so familiarized with smooth injection molding finish that they see a 3D printer texture and immediately ask, will the finish get better in the final version? And that's a problem. Mr. Wind. That's if you're doing prototyping with people using the goal of the prototype to go into molding. That's fine, but that's prototyping. So go use an SLA machine. The only thing I care about is production 3D printing. So we make millions of parts per year, guys. And I am pretty much of the mind that injection molding is dead. It just doesn't know it yet, because printing is more flexible, lower startup cost, and allows you to modify your part on the fly, which is always necessary. Software products are modified daily. Why aren't physical products? Part of that is certifications, but that's not the main issue. It's just because there's never been a flexible enough manufacturing system that could also produce at the scale and cost of molding. That is what this is. That is what we work on. So molding will continue to be very important for a long time, because there's a lot of people who need to make like 1 million plus of the exact same part, but there are not that many people. The number of parts in Walmart has 25,000 SKUs in a store. The number of those parts that will still be for sale in a year or that sell 25,000 units is very small. Most of the products in Walmart are from companies that do like maybe $1 to $10 million per year. They're kind of small businesses. Those small businesses don't sell a lot of volume. It takes 100,000 items at $10 a pop to make $1 million. That's it. So you don't need a high volume to produce a lot of money in cash and to sell into large volume retailers like Walmart. Would you guys consider hosting printers at your farm for a partial cut? No. Because the print farm is not the printer. The print farm is the entire system around it. It is this climate controlled building. It is the collection systems. It is the robots that pull parts from the machines. It is the post processors who know how to check parts. Any different machine or different material or different process in the system requires an entire flow to be built out around it. So we can't just drop new machines in here because it's not reliable. So yeah, that's why we don't do other ones. To what degree is your print farm automated? How much is auto ejection and how much is still an operator getting the part? Do parts start without a human in the loop? Parts start without a human in the loop. If you submit a part through teleport, it automatically goes through the system and starts printing up. So that it goes through quickly. If the part has an error, then it goes into manual review. But if you're doing a mass production job of like 1,000 to 100,000 parts, which we do on the regular, those parts are fully automated. No one will look at them for days and just come collect bins of parts from underneath machines. If you're doing print on demand with teleport, the part has to be pulled individually, either by a human or by a robot from one of these machines or one of these machines. That is in order to ensure that there's tracking on a part. Because if you do auto ejection and the part falls down into a bin, you no longer have tracking on that individual part. So for teleport, somebody's printing a part and a lid, we need to know where that part and lid is the whole time. So down there you can see that, like that cart. That cart, that 2-process cart, is a collection cart, which has a number of bins on it to where each one of them is barcoded, so someone will scan the machine, scan that part into the bin, or a robot arm can do that too, and then you know where that part is. And then going through QC and inventory and everything else, it is scanned and tracked all the way through there so that we know exactly where every part is all the time. And the only time we'd ever lose one is with a software bug. Can we see portals to evolve into machine on demand for CNC machining for industries and defense applications? Times where they're ready. Tanesh? I'm sorry. I'm going to go times where ready. Portals is already used by a number of enterprise companies. They'll put like QR codes to a portal on like a machine, like our 3D printers. If I wanted this brick to be reprinted, I could put a QR code right there and I could scan it and order right now and a brick would show up a couple days later. So enterprises are using it for that. Times new ready. If you are in that industry and you want that feature, please email us at info@slant3d.com and we will activate nylon carbon fiber materials for you and allow you to use that on your portals, your internal portals, to print and ship parts directly for you for that. We won't do machining, but we will do performance materials for you. We could probably even turn on Peak or Ultim or something like that, because there's good money in that to where it can pay for it. But yeah, if you're looking for that type of an application, if there's a client who needs that sort of thing, we'll just whip up a version of it for you, because that's fairly easy to do. Grayish, can people invest in your company? Not right now. We did an investment round at the beginning of the year where we raised some cash and people were able to buy a chunk of the company. We will probably do another investment round in the nearish future, but I don't know when that will be. I love the idea of portals. My printers are completely offline, and for prototyping, what is Slant doing to curtail IP theft of STLs? Portals prevents that. Okay, hang on. I'm going to make it around again, guys. I think portals and teleport is probably one of the very best solutions for STL theft, because inside of portals and teleport, we have a feature called catalog, where people can download files that have been submitted to that catalog. Right now, most of them are from us or are ones from designers that we have partnered with.
But catalog, you upload your files and anybody with a teleport account can sell prints of those files. But they never have access to the files. They just get to sell prints of them, which means the designer has full control of when their files are out in the world, and they're never sharing or copying a file around, which totally protects them. If they want to stop having their file or prints of their file in circulation, they can just remove it from catalog. So it is a way better way of file protection. Plus, the designer can also benefit from the prints of the items because they can receive a royalty from the prints of the items. So teleport and portals is a fantastic way for designers to protect their IP. Designers can also, instead of selling files in order to make a living, they can sell prints of their files because they don't have to run a print farm. They can just say, oh, I designed this awesome thing. A lot of people like it. You can go buy the thing, but you can't get a hold of the files. And if they sell 1 million of them, we can print and ship 1 million for them. Will portals be available to enterprises in the near future to utilize for open source print farms and support from Slant 3D? Our API, Slant 3D will never be a printer network because there's no way to control print quality, shipping time, reliability in that. Only our print farms will ever be on our API or on our services. Or if we ever did partner, they'd be so integrated that they're effectively our factory. Hey, David Bone. But the API right now, the Slant 3D API is available right now. You can go to slant3d.com or slant3dapi.com and the API is there. So you can absolutely do that. You can use our API right now, and put it into your application and send it out. So that's there. What's this live for, and what do you do on here? We talk about print farms, and we talk about what Slant 3D is up to, and we talk about how to sell more on your teleport and portals pages and your Etsy stuff. So that's the gist of it. Talk about mass production 3D printing and how we can allow more people to have access to print farms like this. Do you have operations in Austin now? We do not right now. We had an office down in Austin and we were expanding it into a print farm, but then we decided to pull that back because we were expanding this factory more. And Austin logistically didn't turn out to quite be right. Also environmental problems, like the humidity of Austin was turning into an issue. So those were things. What are things I can make that will actually make money on 3D printing? Something you want. Go on the file networks where you can get a commercial license and get an item that you want. Then you make a video of that item. That's 30 seconds. We have a script for this for you. Explain what the item is, who you are, and why this item is good. And then ask people to go buy it. And you're gonna make 10 TikToks. And then you're gonna do it again. That's how you can sell. And any item will be profitable if it's something you want and you know how to talk about. Okay, let's see here. You need a New England location, specifically Southeast Massachusetts. Funny you should say that, gaming with URO. Do you think there will be more sustainable materials for high performance applications? Tanesh, here's the thing. There's a lot of posturing around waste in 3D printing. Oh, the spools. Oh, the wasted support material. Oh, all the rest of this stuff. And I'm like, I can't get behind it because it's such theater. 3D printing as an industry uses less plastic, like 100 or 1,000 times less plastic than bottled water. It's a huge difference. So it's good that we in the community are working on sustainability so that we're ready when it comes, but our contribution to the impact of sustainability is nothing. If every single filament spool was made and then just chucked into a landfill, it would still be so much less than the amount of plastic waste out there. There's other places to focus and work on to where, I consider it very much posturing in theater when some print farm with 20 machines is just like, we're recycling our filament. I'm like, good for you, but like you're also not doing anything. Good for you for saying you're good and you care about the world so much, but you really aren't making any impact. You're just trying to get the kudos and the thumbs up. And I don't appreciate that because it's just posturing, it's performance. And I just don't agree with that sort of stuff. Okay, let's see here. What else is going on? We got about 5 minutes, guys, so get your questions out because I gotta go see somebody here in a little bit. So I'm not gonna make it. I'm going on a date. Going to a cooking class with a gal. We're gonna see how it turns out. You know, there. Gabe's single, ready to mingle, and we're gonna just go find the world, find my boo. See how it goes. Some of you may have noticed there's nothing there. Let's see. Happy New Year. Great service you're running. Thank you so much. Do you watch the Tracks NYC brawl? I did not. What was that? No, don't get distracted by women. You're right. You were right about that. But I have been a 120-hour per week person for the last 10 years. We got here and we haven't made it yet, and we're not done, not even close, and I am still a 100-hour a week person, but I'm lonely. Have you ever, good luck on the date. Yep. What filament is the best choice for pipe hanger? Would it be high temp up to 180F? I think Petchy is fine. Oh, Fight Like a Brave. I ordered a t-shirt from you. It hasn't arrived yet. It's showing up on Tuesday. It's a little bit slow, but that's what print on demand is. Guys, Fight Like a Brave did merch for us on Amazon. And he, I saw the team forwarded me the message. I bought a t-shirt. And I'll wear the t-shirt in next stream. But I think it's showing up on Tuesday or something, if Amazon's not lying. Sell specific colors, Hatchbox, Polymarker. Do you address this concern? Well, Marco, all of our colors are Polymaker, and we have 16 colors. And if you are selling more, I think right now our ratio is if you are currently selling 10 kg of a color per month of product, we'll add that color in. So just ask for it. Would like to see the Slant 3D print farms, as I have seen many Bambu print farms and never a print farm like this. You're seeing it. There it is. This is one row in it. We have rows over there, and it's a 15,000 square foot space. Yeah, there's a lot of Bambu print farms, but no one's ever built their machines or all of them. Yeah, every other print farm is basically making the same item over and over again with high variation, but the same item over and over again. We're the only ones to where you can access this print farm. You, for free, can use Portals or Teleport and get a couple hundred machines for your Etsy store, your Shopify, or just set up on Portals and start selling something in like 30 seconds. How do you deal with the amount of toxic VOCs in that place? Do you track the levels in there? We do. VOCs is a non-issue. The emission, have you ever used a Febreze in your house? That has a higher outgassing content and VOC content than this print farm. Not to mention the fact that we do run air filtering. But like the emissions from printers is such an overhyped myth. It's just very wrong. About parametric on-demand design. Parametric on design is brilliant. Build an app. Oh, go scroll up in the chat. Hold on. I'm gonna right here. Here's a Parametric Builder app. We have not implemented the API yet to make it. There you go. Adam Pavilion Skaz 311. There's a Parametric model maker. We're gonna add in an API button to where you can buy the print immediately and have it shipped to you. It'll be there in like a day or two. So I really love parametric on-demand design. Do it, make a bunch of them, and then plug it into our API, and then people without printers can buy the parametrically designed stuff and have it shipped to them. And that way they don't have to know about CAD, and they don't have to know about printing or any of the rest of it. Okay. Let's see here. What's up, Timey? Time Dinger. There we go. Man, I am so terrible at usernames. Would anyone know what's the best filler for PLA prints? Don't know what you're going for. It depends on what you're trying to do. Okay. Alrighty then. That's probably gonna have to do it, guys. Do you do secondary operations, gluing magnets? You can include magnets, light pucks, and that kind of stuff inside of the prints. We will not do assembly because stuff will be assembled wrong all the time. Anybody who offers assembly just generally isn't making enough parts. We move thousands of parts a day, guys. If one of those parts goes out wrong, somebody has a bad experience. You can include an insert card, a custom insert card with any given order that will have like assembly instructions so people can IKEA it when they get it. And that also lets customers kind of connect with your product more. So that's a good way of doing it. Alrighty, everybody, I'm gonna head out here. We do this live stream every Sunday, always at noon Mountain Standard Time, which is 11 Pacific Time, and 2 o'clock Eastern Time. But so if you want to join us there, I also live stream the podcast, which is published a couple hours ago, on generally about Wednesdays in the evenings Mountain Standard Time. So you can join in with chat there while I film that podcast and we'll talk about stuff. So that's always one of the possibilities. Okay, and then let's see here. Thanks, we should have a discussion on this topic sometime. Adam, go ahead and email info@slant3d.com with like what your ideas are, and we're happy to talk about it. We are looking for more API users. So if you want to build parametric design apps, I can give you 12. Organizer builder, organizer drawer builder, freaking a lot of organizer builders. A vase maker where people can actually twist and change the fin designs, knock one of those things out, and people can buy a custom vase for themselves. The big thing is make it user-friendly. Make it for a 40-year-old mother who can use it and see what it looks like with some flowers in it. And then that would be the unlock. People are designing all these apps for other 3D printing nerds. Stop doing that. Design an app that a normal human can use to buy a physical object. And the design is just the in-between step. That is the value. And that way, you can add 50% on top of the print, or 50 cents on top of the print cost to pay for server costs and your own fees, and normal people can get the technology of 3D printing and parametric design can join together for normal people to create awesome customized items. Do that. Okay. Yes, make it user-friendly. If you need help with user-friendliness, talk to me. I am a UX snob. Very much a snob. Anytime the UX isn't clean and clear, it's mainly because we had to get it out the door. Because I will ship before I polish for 12 years, but I am a UX snob. By the way, side note, AI-generated slob code. Stop having the little, every app that an AI generates always has an icon, a title, a description, and then the text with the description inside the text. Get rid of 4 of those things. You don't need the icon. You need a title and the input text box in an intuitive location. Done. Hey. These rows, we have multiple rows inside the farm, but I think these rows are like 150 per side, something like that. Maybe it's 200 per side. I don't know. Yeah, the Slant 3D Mega Farm is spec'd out for 3,000 machines. Okay, fair enough, guys. See y'all later. Have a good day. Happy New Year, and I'll see you next week. Hopefully we should start getting into a rhythm to where the content on the channel should start moving away from compilations and stuff. But okay, see y'all later. Let's step over.